Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to your May Scorpio eclipse reading. So this one's a lunar eclipse taking place on the 5th of May, and we had a solar eclipse in Aries on the 20th of April. Right after that eclipse, Mercury went retrograde and is still retrograde at the time of this upcoming lunar eclipse. So what this means is that there are a lot of changes that are taking place internally, some new beginnings coming up, a sense of urgency cropping in, external events happening that trigger the insight through the solar eclipse, and now with this lunar eclipse, it's the inner world that is getting on board with all our desires and ambitions. So it's the inner world that is going to make the greatest moves in this particular eclipse here. And we have been seeing Taurus Scorpio activation since 2022, and it is slowly starting to shift out of it into Aries and Libra axis. Even though we have the Scorpio eclipse again, it is quite different from 2022 because of the square with Saturn. The Uranus has been squaring with Saturn since a while, not anymore. It was in 2022, and that caused a lot of, I can see the future, but time is not yet here. Or, I don't yet have the skills or the necessary resources. The advancements that I'm hoping to create are not yet possible to be fully realized. So there is a simultaneous acceleration and futuristic thinking, and also hesitance or breaking and pulling back because of practical concerns. But now Saturn is out of Aquarius and is now in Pisces, which means that there is a different flavor. It is not interfering with Uranus trying to create a change. The future is here, it's now, it's ready to be created, okay? Now, the role of Mercury going retrograde is very interesting this particular cycle, at least, because it almost conjoined with Uranus, okay? And when it meets with Uranus, it's all about like brilliant insights, great ideas, spontaneous communication, random flashes of insight and imagination, and so on. But it almost did the conjunction, right? So it's not yet here, and it will get there on the 5th of June around that time. But it got close, and it's like, okay, I'm getting a feeling that the future is there. Let me just go backward and see if I have everything that I need. And by everything, it means your financial resources, your material resources, your sense of deservingness, self-worth, or also your priorities. Is everything streamlined? Is everything in order? Is it all well structured? That's what Mercury in Taurus is interested to know. And that's a very important cycle that's a part of this eclipse situation. All right, so let's see what's coming through here. I'm seeing a theme of communication happening, or at least bright ideas, new beginnings coming through for all the zodiac so far. So I'm expecting something like that, either internally or from the external world. All right, let's see. We have the Seven of Swords coming up first. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Liking the Pentacles, we're already seeing the Taurus theme. At this time of the lunar eclipse, it's a full moon time, so the sun is going to be there in Taurus, meanwhile the moon is in Scorpio. So the energy of whatever I talked about is definitely playing a huge role in this particular eclipse. We have the Three of Wands as well. Hang on, I have to get something for you so that I can see your chart. Just a moment. Okay, that's just for reference. We're gonna get back to the reading. What I see here is that you're making some sort of strategy, some type of planning, where either you're starting your own business or you want to move in that direction. So you're gathering the resources, making sure you're saving up enough, or you're making the right investments. You could be reading up on things. It's a very nice time to research and figure out the exact particulars before diving deep into something. But you are researching your resources in order to dive into them, right? There is a mission that comes through. Now, the Seven of Swords can talk about also like deception or sneaky behavior. So you're looking at, the people that are around you, or the resources that you want to be investing in, and seeing what makes sense for you. All right? You don't want to invest with the wrong people. Neither your money, nor your resources, nor your time, effort, nothing. Right? So you're making a lot of calculated choices here. Given that we have Taurus in your 8th house, that's, I think, a very smart choice. You're looking at your future, your shared resources, as well if you're sharing it with someone, and you're seeing what makes sense here. You're doing a lot of planning and all of these things that we're talking about. You're doing this behind the scenes, okay? You're not yet telling everyone your grand plans. And yes, your plans are likely to be grand. If they're not here already, that it will definitely be showing up by this eclipse time, especially sparked by the solar eclipse in Aries. Okay, if you've not watched your zodiac specific reading for that, I would highly suggest you do so. It gives a more external perspective. But either way, this spark that is there, it's not going anywhere. Okay, you are determined to make moves in this direction. There is a sense of commitment when it comes to the Knight of Wands. It can be for love, it can be for passion, it can be for creativity, autonomy, authority, anything really. It's something that is craving attention in your life. Okay, now the Seven of Swords can, of course, the warning comes with itself that there can be other people trying to deceive you, and that's why reading the fine print is very important, or going through documents over and over again before signing anything is ultra important, especially because Mercury is retrograde. It's easy to miss things, it's easy to jump the gun and believe that we have everything ready when we're still going through the documents. It's like you're reading the first 2 pages and you're like, yeah, okay, I get it, skip to the end. You can't really, because the middle portion contains a lot of the details that we can't just skip over. It's something like that, okay? So make use of this time by going behind the scenes, learning things about what you are investing for, or whatever your plans are for the future. Look at how viable those options are. Is there a better way to approach those things? You know, there can also be, with the Queen of Wands, someone you admire and someone who already has a business or is an authority in the field that you are driven and passionate about. It can be a father figure, mother figure, or just a boss somewhere, someone on YouTube. It can be just about anyone. But this is someone who is very bright and inspiring and self-confident. Okay, they can give you some sort of pointers. They can also give you some sort of direction and even help you out in some sort of resources here. Okay, now I want to clarify the Seven of Swords. I feel like I'm missing something. I'm not quite sure what. Let me see. Can we clarify the Seven of Swords, please, for Libra? Your ruler, by the way, Venus, is in Gemini. It will move into Cancer later in the month. But while it is in Gemini, it's helping you out with contracts and making decisions and choosing a different path for yourself, one which would be a lot more beneficial for you. Work opportunity, visas, immigration, things like that if you're involved in, then Venus helps bring those things to fruition, okay? Also, any expansion plans that you have, Venus is supportive over here, and when she moves into Cancer, she's going to help nurture and nourish the projects that you are building for yourself. We have the Six of Wands, yeah. Okay, so regardless of whatever, loopholes there might be, or, snivelly behavior in the backdrop, either of other people or whatever, it won't ultimately change what you do. It might be annoying in that moment to have to go through the fine print, or to have to, re-look at all the documents yourself and have that back and forth. But you're catching the mistakes, okay, that other people are making. You're catching that fine print. You're gathering your own information from your own sources and double checking things. And that's what makes you very triumphant. Seven of Swords also talks about like I said, you're making plans behind the scenes and you're aiming that towards success. So strategy is very important here, okay? Yes, we have the Two of Pentacles as well coming through. Two income sources, or you might be moving your finances in some way. Again, you have that second house and eighth house dynamic going on. and they relate with your financial structure. If, for example, you have been earning through a common source, like from the government or from your research institutions or some funds that you collect from others, then you might be moving yourself into getting your own thing and being the investor yourself if you're in that position, or generating your own income through either a business or being a private consultant or something like that. I don't know, that's really like specific. But either way, you're like moving some accounts, some projects, and you're trying to balance things out in a much more effortless way for you. This is something that works for you, and you're putting yourself first. In that regard, the Seven of Swords can be, considered that it's kind of like it's either my way or the highway type of situation that I'm getting here, but not as aggressive. Okay? That sounds a little bit too aggressive, but not really. It's just, I come first, this is my priority, and even if you say that I have to overwork myself to earn the same amount, I'm not going to do that. I will find clever ways to not have to do that much because I have other priorities, and I'm putting myself first. It's sort of like that. So it's not really selfish in a bad way, but it is like so necessary. And it makes so much sense with the eclipse in Aries, right? Aries is all about personal authority and personal identity. What do you want to be pioneering? It's very entrepreneur-like. It's taking initiative as well, self-driven, authoritative, and so on. So putting yourself first is something that we all collectively need to do in some area of life or the other. This can also indicate that you're partnering up with someone who's already a business or is very self-driven, because Aries falls in your 7th house. It can be joining forces with your partner, or your partner is helping you out in gathering more income. It can also be that, they are generating, by the way, partner, I say that as a romantic thing, but it can be a business partner as well, but also, one-to-one friendships, close relationships, with whomever you can have an open one-to-one conversation. They all fall in the 7th house, okay? So someone else is helping you out over here. Also, you are seeing yourself as very powerful, okay? You will start seeing more tangible results beyond the May 15th, okay? After that, Mercury goes direct, and all of this foggy thought process and the plans that we have start to take effect. We are making things very, very concrete beyond this point, all right? And you're taking a lot of charge. You're very empowered here, and by that time, you'll feel very strong with your plans. Okay, we have Nuthatch, which says, stay grounded and welcome the new knowledge and perspective coming to you. That's going to come in spades, okay? With both of these eclipses, that is absolutely happening. We have Grouse, which says, embrace the power of dance and movement to access your highest guidance. Absolutely. With the Queen of Wands there, dance, express yourself in any creative manner, move, run, jog, something that just gets you up and going. She's very dynamic, okay? She's outgoing, she's dynamic, she loves to experience all these different things, but at the same time, she's very clear about what she likes and what she does not like, okay? She's in touch with her feelings and also her instincts and her passion. She's naturally intuitive and empathetic as well, but she's like that light in any darkness, all right? So dancing, letting go of the stress is very, very important, because eclipses are quite hectic, okay? Just in general, even if you're not initiating something or whatever, it's just a generally energetic, draining type of time. It so happens that you might get some extra work around this time. Perhaps there are more projects coming in or more things you need to deliver. In some cases, it can talk about being in a defensive position. Perhaps you have an exam, you're defending your thesis or something, or you just have an exam where you have to present yourself, your work that you've done, and you're being very smart about it. You've put in the work, you've put in the skills, but you're also presenting yourself with great skill. All right, so whatever it is, the outcome is quite beneficial for you. Then we have the Owl, which says your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. And we have the Hawk, which says, pay attention, a powerful message is being communicated to you now. Yes, with this will be more felt in June, but you will already feel the energy kind of bubbling. Okay, you'll feel as though something's coming, or that it will become very clear very fast, very soon, and you're just gonna, you'll know when you know, that kind of vibe. It's as though you're thinking that to yourself, that I'll know when I know. I'll know that there is something else that is missing at this moment, which will become clear very, very soon. It's that type of vibe. The hawk has that precognition, okay? Something important's about to happen, and then it just becomes still. Even while it is flying and doing its thing, it's, carrying on, soaring, it somehow recognizes that, okay, I'm going to catch my prey now. And so it becomes really still while it is moving, just to focus and pay attention. And how you're recognizing that is with the owl here, with that intuition. I told you the queen has that natural intuition that is there, and also with the earth signs coming through, it talks about practical intuition or financial intuition. It's as though this comes natural to you, to manage things. You're a very diplomatic sign. You like things in balance, okay? That's what Libra symbolizes. You take immediate action to balance things out. You ponder on how it is going to balance things out. You look at the pros and cons. You're all about decision making. In your lifetime, you experience both indecision and decision. Once you make up your mind, right? So that's kind of what's coming through here. You're expressing more of yourself by letting go of certain distractions. And you know it to be coming. Wow. Okay. Then we have the mirror. And we have Anima Mundi, which talks about the world. Okay, this is the world. Okay. The mirror talks about the projections that we have. Okay, certain fears we might be having might be inherited through other sources. I think this grouse message is so important that it came here. Because when you feel that, go for a run. When you feel as though there is a stress or a fear that's bubbling up, go for a run or jog, or again, anything that you choose here which involves some sort of movement. Even traveling, short distance travel, going for a ride with bicycle, anything really. It can help clear your mind. If it is yours, you will know it if that fear is yours. Meanwhile, it will also become very clear to you around this eclipse as to you inherit this from your mother figure or your father figure or from your culture or something like that, where you have a shared fear or shared difficulty in asserting yourself or deciding for something, or establishing your financial resources, whatever the case is. And this movement here is also grounding you at the same time. The interconnectedness is just very intense. So that's why I'm struggling a little bit to, break it down into separate sentences. Especially when we have this card, it just says that everything is working together at the same time. So, how can I, it's very, it's hard to express to you very, very clearly. But just know that it's going to work out very well. You might be traveling someplace for work, for your presentations, or some project that you have going on. And at the same time, you have some plans in the backdrop. You are working on that as well. It's a hectic time in general, but you're managing everything with great expertise. And ultimately, you will get all of your wishes. Trust your intuition as this goes. Move around, exercise. It helps lighten up your load, clears your energy. So you can be a very clear conduit for any information that comes either from the spiritual realms or from other people. Also observe how you see yourself with the mirror there, and other people might come in to help show you. They're not doing this consciously, but from the way that someone else makes you feel, you can recognize what you feel about yourself, right? That's the point of projection. Maybe search about it. It's a psychological term. It'll maybe give you a lot more clarity than I'm able to at this time. And this here indicates that you're looking at the details of things. You're looking at the interconnectedness of things and how you might like make the logistics work. How can you manage things so that everything moves along in a streamlined fashion and that everything is completed at a certain time. This can of course be work related, but I feel even if you have a job, you're looking to transition from where you are to another place, which will be a lot more growth oriented for you, where you can learn a lot but at the same time be in a more financially lucrative position here. You're gaining a lot of confidence through this entire procedure. So yes, by the end of May, yeah, you're going to feel very different about yourself, a lot more self-assured. Okay, let's see what else we get for Libras, please. For the May Scorpio eclipse. We have Mars, third house, and Aquarius. Okay. You're thinking big, you're making like big picture plans, long-term plans, you have some goals and aspirations, some ideals that you're trying to reach, and you're taking action in that direction, okay? Mars at this time is going to be in Cancer, so it's about what makes your intuition sing, your emotions, feel at home, what is home to you, and how can you create more of that in the world. Okay, this looks at your thought patterns as well, just in general. What do you perceive about the world? What do you perceive about yourself? Third house is the things that you think to you, things that you say to you, right? What are those things? Looking at the bigger picture, that's like a very, that's the overarching message. But Mars here is like, let's zoom in as well. Also with the third house, let's take care of the details and make sure that we do that proper, because we need to make that big picture thing come true. Okay, you're making strong headway towards your like ultimate goals. Like ultimately, I would like to be doing this or being this or having this, right? We have all those goals and ideals, and it looks like you're making great headway there. Also, Pluto is sitting in Aquarius at this time. The solar eclipse squared with Pluto, so it brings about a purging and like a forceful, like, okay, here's the indicator, you gotta do this now. It's either sink or swim with Pluto, okay? It's quite intense in that way. But he's sitting there in the 5th house for you, so this can be changing your mind about children or about creativity, about self-expression, how you relate with the world, social media networking, if that applies to you. Just the way that you show up and present yourself and your skills and your ideas, that's going through a major overhaul in the coming 20 years. And this here indicates that we're making these small little steps in increments to get you to that point, right? When something takes 20 years, it's not going to be done all at once, right? It's not a whole blast. We do things bit by bit, and that's why I really love the earthy energy that's coming through for you. It's at the same time very progressive and productive, but also stable enough that you can make sense of things as you go. Okay, really nice to move forward with whatever plans you have. Think things through, of course, that's always there, but yeah, as long as you know, you know. So that's what I have for you, Libras. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to watch your solar eclipse reading. It'll give you a lot more context. And for personal readings, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.